kitty. What are you doing? Hi. So this video is like 5 years in the making. I'm finally gonna do a makeup look for glasses, right? Yeah, it's finally happening. All right, first up, I wanna say thank you to Jin's Eyewear for sponsoring this portion of the video. So I don't know about you guys, but when I don't wear blue light glasses and I'm editing, I get serious digital eye strain. I get like major headaches. So if you don't know about Jin's, you can make any of their frames blue light blocking lenses. And right now they're running a special where you can add them to any lenses for free. They also have over 1,800 styles that you can try on virtually using their virtual try-on feature. No app necessary, it's right on their website. So if you want to get $15 off, you can use the code Alexandra15. And I will link all of that stuff down below, including the styles that I got. So I am nearsighted, which means wait, am I nearsighted? I'm nearsighted, which means I can see up close, but I can't see far away at all. And despite high index lenses, you're gonna get some distortion with your eyes. So people who can't see far away, the lenses are gonna make their eyes look a little bit smaller. You can kind of see like a little bit of that distortion. So that's like what we're gonna be keeping in mind when I do this makeup look today. But I want to give some tips and tricks to people who are farsighted, who like if they wanna make their eyes appear a little bit smaller, because farsighted lenses are going to they're gonna make your eyes look bigger. So let's just take a look really quick. You can see the difference in the size of my eyes real quick. Okay, the cat is playing with her cat. Ziva, do you mind? See the size difference? Now, it's not a big deal, you know, but I understand that there are a lot of people who, you know, maybe want to correct those little distortions that are created when they're wearing glasses, plus some other tips and tricks. So I am already wearing sunscreen and a little bit of color corrector underneath my eyes. So as far as foundation goes, I personally think like concealer foundation, use what you want to use. Dewy, matte, doesn't matter. Use what works for your skin type, right? One tip that I will give is you want to pay attention to where your glasses are going to be laying. So because my glasses are going to be sitting like up on like this fat part of my nose, when I'm applying my concealer and my foundation, I'm going to use an incredibly light hand. Light hand? I'm going to apply a very small amount. The only reason I'm going to apply some is so that there's cohesive color throughout my face, so that it doesn't end up looking like super strange. But basically you want to apply as little product there as possible. I know there are all kinds of like tricks about how to prevent smudging, and granted these frames are incredibly lightweight, so they don't like move around on my face a lot. So they're going to be removing a lot less product. But if something is sitting on your skin, it's going to leave an impression. It's just how it goes. I am going to be applying my LC Cosmetics foundation, and I'm actually gonna be using this little guy. This is like I don't know, like a flat beauty sponge. I don't even know what to call it, from About Face Beauty, Halsey's new brand. And it is damp, just so you know. So this is so weird because I'm used to filming with contacts, so I can actually see what I'm doing. So treat the outer part of your face like usual. Do whatever you wanna do. All right, now that I have foundation all around my face, I'm gonna take whatever's left over on my sponge, which really isn't that much, and I'm gonna go around my nose, even in that area, right? So I wanna make sure that I've got cohesive color going throughout. And then I'm gonna flip my little guy around, so I'm using clean side, and I'm gonna press into the area where my glasses are going to sit. Because basically you just want to have as little product there as possible. When I apply my concealer, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to place it where I need it, and I'm going to pick up what is left over in the area that my little like nose pads are going to be sitting. So today I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm also just using less concealer overall. So I'm going to blend this underneath my eyes, and I'm going to try to focus it like basically just underneath my eyes. I'll bring a tiny bit onto the sides of my nose, but I'm basically going to be like removing that anyway. All right, and then once again, I'm going to use the other side and just press in that area to pick up excess product. Because if we're being real, it's going to be like covered up anyway, you know what I mean? It's not going to be obvious if you don't have like as much product there. This thing would be perfect if it didn't have that seam. It'd be perfect. All right, let's talk about contouring. So when it comes to contouring your nose, basically, I mean, if you're a person who does this, obviously, this is where my glasses sit, right? So that's where I wanted the least amount of product so that if they move, it's not going to look like totally crazy, right? Now, I'm just not going to touch that with bronzer or contour powder or whatever. I'm only going to contour this area of my nose, okay? I just decided I'm going to do that with a powder. So I'm going to show you how I apply powder. Now it's the same idea. So I just put my glasses on. So now I have like a tiny bit of an impression just from like them resting, you know, of where they're going to sit. I prefer not to apply powder in that area because basically like the plastic of the nose pads or just the nose piece in general sitting on your skin, if it's sitting on top of a powder, it's kind of like trapping in moisture. Like your skin gives off, your body gives off heat, right? Think about putting saran wrap on like a plate of hot chicken. Like it creates condensation. So throughout the day, if you're wearing a powder and you're wearing glasses on top of it, it's going to kind of like trap the heat and create moisture in that area, which is once again, like even if it's translucent powder, it's gonna get mixed up. It's gonna end up looking like a little bit pasty. And if you remove your glasses, it's gonna be obvious. So same with powder. Just don't apply it in that area. We just applied the tiniest amount of foundation so that we have a cohesive color, but we basically just like picked it up so there's no excess product. So when I apply my powder, I'm going to keep it as far away from that area as possible. This is also going to allow you throughout the day, if you feel like you remove them and you can see a little bit of an impression or whatever left, like the leftover foundation, you can just like pat it real quick with your finger. It's easy touch-ups. So I'm going to be using my LC Cosmetics Light Medium Setting Powder and my MAC 240S brush. I like to apply a tiny bit more concealer like right under my eyes where I think I need it before I set, usually right there. And keeping this as far away from my nose as possible because I just want to brighten up the under eye area and cover up my dark circles. Okay, I'm gonna focus that powder directly under my eyes. Little into the inner corner, but I'm keeping it away from my nose. Just want to set this area. Tend to get a little oily around this part of my nose, but my glasses aren't going to be down there, so I don't have to worry about it. Again, if you wear your glasses, if your glasses happen to sit further down on your nose, just keep in mind like where they're going to be sitting, you know? All right, I am going to go and do the rest of my face, and then we're going to come back to the nose contour. But do the rest of your face however you want. Not affected. And another nice thing about these glasses is that they bow out a little bit so they don't squeeze my temples, so I don't have to worry about anything there. Finished the rest of my face. I used about 17 lip products. Totally fine. Now I want to show you how I would contour my nose. So obviously I can do this while I'm wearing my glasses because I only want to focus on the tip of my nose. So I'm going to be using just like a little blending brush from ColourPop, I believe, and the Contour Pro palette from Clio. You can do a cream or a powder, it doesn't matter, obviously. This isn't even something that you need to do, but I just want to show you how I would do it. So I'm going to sweep a little bit. Why is he being so loud? Pick up a little bit on the brush. Yeah, I'm filming. Did you remember? But did you remember? How many bags did you get? Dude, so many flavors.
There's different kinds of Guatemala. You got the small one that was black, or that's Colombia. You got the small Colombia black one. You got a blue Guatemala one.
That we really liked the first time.
Really liked the Jolly Rancher candy bar. Lady apple pear.
Where did they come up with these fucking...
Oh, but it's like fruit.
Thank you. Fruit. I do like fruit. Thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta continue. I'm literally recording right now. Leave?
Yep.
Can you shut the door, please?
Yeah.
Stop saying yup.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Tim, door shut. Shut door.
Will you just shut up?
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna contour my nose. So I just like to do the tip. Like basically, I just like to refine it a little bit. It's totally unnecessary. I don't need to do it at all. I just kind of like it. So I'm just gonna focus here. And I kind of feel like if, well, let me just show you this. So I'm gonna focus on just kind of like refining the tip a little bit. So that's basically what I like to do. I'm gonna wipe off my brush. I'm literally just gonna kind of fade it up. I don't need to go anywhere near my glasses. I kind of feel like when you're wearing glasses, you know, like the glasses themselves kind of like cinch that area of your nose. So if you feel like this area of your nose is wider and you don't need to do the tip, I mean, you don't really need to contour it, you know what I mean? guess you could do like a little bit of highlight to maybe narrow it if your nose is like a little more low profile and you like to bring it up a little bit. But just do, you know, obviously wherever the glasses aren't going to be touching. Because it's like this whole area is just kind of like camouflaged anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so it doesn't really make a difference. That's all I like to do. Anyway, so now let's do the eyes, because that's the important part, right? All right, so like I said, and you can obviously see as I turn here, that the distortion from the glasses is going to bring it in a little bit more, right? So if I lift them, you can see the difference in the size. So what I like to do is, and once again, this is just preference, like it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you, and it's totally fine. But what I like to do is make my eyes look a little bit bigger so that they don't look so like tiny, right? I'm gonna show you how to do that. All right, so I already have eye primer on. I'd used my Anastasia one, and just ignore this. I don't know what's happening here. I've just got some irritation. So one of the ways that we can do this, cat's in the litter box, literally every single time. It's so rude. So the distortion from my glasses kind of makes my eyes look a little bit smaller and bring them in slightly. So what I like to do is make my eyes look a little bit wider and bring them out. So I'm gonna be using the Master Mattes palette from Makeup by Mario, this little guy. I'm only gonna be using like a couple shades, maybe one. I'm gonna use this right here to begin with. And on my Morphe M433 brush. And basically what I'm gonna do is lift the eye by placing my like crease color ever so slightly higher than usual. And I'm gonna focus it a little bit more on the outer part of the, like upper part of the eye, if that makes sense. So I have a little bit of darkness in here anyway, and the darker you make that, the closer it brings your eyes in. So I wanna focus the majority of this on the outer part of basically like the outer part of the lower part of my brow bone, if that makes sense. So basically this area right here, because if we compare it to this side, this area, if I leave this light, it kind of like drags my eye down a little bit, which is gonna kind of like close my eye off even more. So by pushing this back in space by using a slightly darker color and focusing it in this area, it brings more attention to this part of my eye because it's a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to place it here and then just kind of like diffuse that color. Next step is just a typical one for me. I'm going to pick up that same color and I'm going to run it underneath my lower lash line, and I'm going to focus it on like the outer 2/3 of the eye. So the more you smoke out your lower lash line, the larger it's actually going to make your eyes look. Don't feel like you have to, you know, do too much. You can obviously pick and choose which tips you use. I'm not bringing any darkness into the inner part of my eye. For my waterline, I'm going to use a nude liner. You could use matte, you can use shimmery. Today I'm going to be using actually a little bit of color. So I'm going to be using one of the ColourPop Cream Gel liners. This is like a soft pale yellow. I just wanted to kind of remind you that like you can use any color. Any of these can be any color that you want. You just want to keep in mind the depth or the value of each color. That's really what's going to matter. So don't be afraid to like play with color. This is very pale, so it's not necessarily going to make that big a difference in terms of using like this over a nude. One from Benefit, I think it's called the Eye Bright pencil, is like a pale nudie pink. That's a great one. Place this in my waterline and I'm gonna cover my waterline. I can't talk to you. Okay, so you can use a white, you can use a nude, you can use a pastel color, basically anything that is going to be lighter than like that actual area of your skin. So you can kind of see that like opens up my eyes a little bit more, right? I'm gonna do this whole eye and then we can compare the differences. So then for the lid, I don't want to use a dark color there. Now, once again, this doesn't have to be nude. It can be a color, but you just want to use something that's going to be lighter. It can be something that's reflective. It can be matte. Once again, doesn't matter. I'm going to use a shimmery color, a light shimmery color from the Master Metallics Mario palette. So this color right here, which is just like a very pretty sort of like vanilla nude, but it is a metallic shade. super pretty. So I'm just going to pat this all over my lid, and I'm gonna blend it just up above my actual crease and kind of just tap into that transition shade that we applied. Now, if you have, you know, a fold that comes down, don't worry about it. I've talked about this a million times. If you're doing like a cut crease or something like that, just go over that fold. It's totally fine. I'm just going to be tapping lightly into it so that it's a little bit more diffused. And then this way, you don't have to worry about that fold, you know, like transfer or whatever. So keeping the lid lighter is going to bring more attention to that area. And once again, it's going to make our eyes look a little bit more open. So this is my highlight from Vesca that I used on the rest of my face. It's the Moonlight highlight. And I'm going to be using this in my inner corner, but I want to show you how I do that. So I'm going to be using like kind of a tiny fluffy brush. This is from Morphe, the Morphe Gold and Black collection. Never know what it's called. And then another trick that you can do is really brighten up your inner corner by highlighting a lot of it. So I'm going to place this right in here. I'm going to blend it up into the inner part of the lid, up a little bit, basically into like the dark area of my eye. I'm also going to bring it down onto the inner corner a little bit. So by using a light and also shimmery color, you're creating a lot of nice reflect, and it's going to be opening up this area. So rather than just popping like a little bit of inner corner highlight like right there in the inner corner, I'm really opening up this whole area. So if we compare to this, you can see once again it kind of brings this area forward. It makes my eyes look like a little bit larger. All right, now for mascara, if I'm just going to be wearing mascara, I'm not wearing falsies, and we'll get to that because I know a lot of falsies are really hard to wear with glasses. I'm going to be using a waterproof mascara because my eyelashes are very straight and they don't hold a curl very well. The mascara that I'm going to be using is the Kill Lash Superproof Mascara by the brand Clio. Obviously, in addition to doing mascara and lifting your eyelashes is going to be very important. So if you can stand it, I know a lot of people like really hate to curl their eyelashes for some reason. I get it, it looks like a torture device, but it really helps, trust me. My favorite lash curler is the one by Lancome. Just fits my eye shape the best. Just do a few pumps. Make sure that they're really lifted, and I like to apply the mascara right after. See, already that just gives your eyes like such a nice lift. So if you feel like your lashes don't hold a curl, I definitely recommend trying a waterproof mascara. My favorites are this one by Clio and the Lancome Monsieur Big waterproof mascara. I mean, like, are you kidding me? I think I might do one more pass, but for my lower lashes, the ones that make them look just like ridiculously long, I don't know why this is. It's the Buxom Extrovert mascara. This was in collaboration with the makeup artist Ash K. Home. I forgot her name for a second. It looks like it's gonna be like super clumpy and like a mess, but it's so good for your lower lashes. I don't know why. I don't know. The only thing is it doesn't hold a curl, otherwise I would use it on my top lashes. Sorry, I can't show you this part. It's just too much. Okay. I mean, I feel like the difference is like insane, right? So clearly my eye over here just looks like bigger, more open, more wide. So when we put glasses on, it looks a little bit more proportionate compared to this eye. Isn't that crazy? Now, if you are the opposite, you have the opposite problem, you are farsighted and your glasses make your eyes look a lot bigger, think about this in reverse. You don't necessarily have to wear a dark color on your lid, but you might want to use something that's not going to be like this light. Rather than using a light color in your waterline, you're going to want to use something a little bit darker. It doesn't have to be black, it doesn't have to be brown. It could be like just a darker taupe or just anything that's going to be darker than like that area of your eye. So what you're doing is you're kind of just doing these like tiny little tweaks to manipulate those distortions in your face. You know what? I was going to finish the other eye, but I actually think it's kind of hilarious to finish the video like this. So that's what we're going to do. And then as far as false lashes go, there are plenty that are short. Because I know a lot of, depends on kind of like how your glasses sit on your face. I don't really have a big problem with like falsies. Some of my favorites are the Ardell Demi Wispies, which are a little bit on the shorter side. They're not that much longer than my like natural lashes. What are some other ones? These by House of Lashes. These are She's in Natural. It's kind of the same deal. They're a little bit more on the short, more natural side. But Ardell makes really, really great ones that are like nice and short, specifically for more natural looks. And those are going to be your best bet because they won't, you know, hit the end of your glasses. I guess that's it, guys. I hope this was helpful in some way. Remember, if you're nearsighted or if you're farsighted, just do the opposite. Think in the opposite way. And sorry it took me so long to do this video. All right, guys, that's it. Hope it helped. And if you have any tips for wearing glasses and makeup, especially if you're farsighted, since I didn't go into depth about that because I'm not that, leave them in the comments down below. And if you are interested in checking out Jin's, all that stuff will be linked down below. Okay, bye.